Start today with a prayer. I had to start recording because even though I thought I had everything right, I didn't record, but that's okay. So today's prayer is about mindfulness. So with the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, divine presence, source of peace and clarity, still my racing thoughts and quiet the noise within. Help me breathe deeply into this moment, no past regrets and no future worries for now. Let me notice the beauty in the small things, the warmth in the sunlight, in the rhythm of breath, the kindness in a stranger's smile. Teach me to listen with compassion, speak with intention, and act with love. When distractions pull me away, gently guide me back to the center. May I walk through today, awake, aware, and anchored in you. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
I hope that was good because I wrote that,
Yeah.
in
Poetic.
2 minutes. Okay, so would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi. Yeah, I'm Shiro. Hello. Most people already know me. They know a lot more about me than they probably should. But if you don't know me, I am a VTuber. I stream on Twitch. I've been streaming for about over a year now. It's been a while. And I usually play horror games. A lot of people think I have a bit of an edgy brand, that I'm controversial. And apparently my mouth tracking is not gonna want to work very well today, so bear with me.
That's all right. I mean, I don't think people blame you for technical difficulties. I haven't done an interview like this for quite some time, especially with a VTuber, so you can blame me for anything wrong. It's all right. So we're going to go in order of the questions I made, and each one's categorized by a certain topic. And we're just going to start with your background and journey, okay? Shiro, can you tell us a little bit about your journey in becoming a VTuber and what inspired you to start VTubing?
Okay, so I actually have an answer for this. Also, to preface, I am having some throat issues just because of the wildfires that have been happening, and I think I'm coming off of a sickness, so bear with me if I have to clear my throat. But I started VTubing around a year ago. At the time, my boyfriend, well, now ex, was watching a decent amount of VTubers. He started watching VTubers like Rev Says Des. And I kind of had a habit of just backseating. Whatever he was watching, I would just be in the room. And so I started watching Rev, and I said I could do that. And I did that. I started out with PNG Tuber Plus. I started making PNG tubers. I was watching tutorial videos, finding out live 2D, microphones that are good, stuff like that. And I got my setup and I debuted not much later. So here I am. Original Shiro didn't even look like current Shiro. I started out as a bear VTuber.
Instead of a puppy?
And yeah, I started out as a bear and I had white hair, and not a lot of people have seen it. Unless you've been in my Discord server, you probably haven't seen original Shiro. But yeah, that's how I got my start in streaming, through Rev.
I mean, yeah, I never even saw it. And I try to find as much as possible on you. And then, was it ever? I mean, you went through Rev. Was it interesting? Follow up that you later on. We got a question about Straw, but it was interesting that you met Straw through this.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy to me. I started VTubing through Rev, and now I'm friends with his wife. It's kind of crazy. So, yeah, I mean, I love her. She's very great, but yeah.
So with all the controversy going around with the Vtards, a lot of these questions are going to be your experiences with them. So the next
Hmm.
question is actually how did you come to hold your current beliefs and the values before you joined the Vtards?
Yeah, so with my current beliefs and values, I actually used to be a liberal. And I think that people know that at this point. I haven't really been quiet about it. Um, when I was in high school, I was like an atheist and I had dyed hair and I was super like pro abortion, pro trans, pro everything. And then I started questioning. And I feel like that's how, a lot of people come to getting out of what I can only call a cult of mind control that is liberalism. So when I started actually researching things for myself, um, and having these conversations, I started realizing that maybe I wasn't right. Maybe things weren't the way that I thought that they were. Um, I was that kind of girl in high school. Like, my mom has been conservative my entire life. Um, I thought that I was like pansexual at some point, and she's like, "No, you're not." And I thought that she was like the worst person in the world for that. I thought that she was a bigot and hateful. And once I actually started talking to her, I realized she just loved me. And that a lot of the things that I thought were not correct. So, I started kind of turning at that point. Um, I got back into being a Christian, and that also, like, drew me over the line quite a bit. Um, and it's been maybe like a year now. Um, Probably 2 years, actually, that I've held more conservative beliefs. I went from like liberal to libertarian to actual like conservative beliefs. Um, so yeah, while I haven't always thought this way, um, I do think pretty conservatively now. And that's why I wouldn't consider myself a bigot. Like when people call me a bigot, I'm like, no, I've actually reevaluated my beliefs multiple times. I've done research on everything to come to this conclusion. So I kind of, yeah, being called a bigot is weird to me.
I mean, for those who tend to watch me, I've been called, a Nazi, a fascist, a bigot, a misogynist. I mean, and you can't let those things
Yeah.
really affect you. You got to go
Hmm.
through life and the little things that happen to you. I mean, people have their own free will, but you know in your heart that they're wrong, right?
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people that use these buzzwords don't even know what they mean. Back when I used to call people bigots, I didn't even know what it meant. I thought that it was just like someone who was right wing and like transphobic. Everything phobic and ist. Like, yeah. So a lot of people don't understand what a bigot actually is.
Uh, what personal experiences led you to seek out and help create the group like the Vtards initially?
So experience wise, I had already been friends with Akemi for a while. And I kind of liked her no BS kind of stance. Um, the way that she would just like go after people, um, fight against leftists. She wasn't afraid to speak her mind. That's something that reminded me of me, because I used to be like that as well. And, I kind of gravitated towards that. I think kind of seeing myself in her is what led me to where I am now. Um, and I will say it's helped me grow quite a bit. But I did like the original, um,
Intent?
like mission statement of the Vtards, she had made this tweet that was like, I want to make a group that's like full of people who we might have different opinions, we might not agree on everything, but we can still like get together and have fun and play games and maybe even be friends. And I liked that. I thought that it was great because, I had friends who were like liberals and I didn't care. I have friends who are atheists and I don't care. Like, I think that you can, to an extent, have different beliefs, and still get along. So I like that. And I had responded to that tweet and I said, call it Vtard or Vtruth and let me in. And thus the birth of Vtard.
So you're saying here, and this was a common misconception that I got while asking for questions from other people. You're saying that you came up with the term Vtard?
Yes, and I believe it's still out there in my Twitter history. If you look up the word with my username, you can probably find it. I came up with the name Vtard.
Good. We're going to move on to beliefs and stances.
Okay.
How did your beliefs align or clash with the current, well, now disbanded Vtards, anti-LGBT stance before your departure?
Yeah. So I am very much like, I think that LGBTQ is a sin. I don't think I would like bring it up to someone unprompted. Like if I knew someone in person and we weren't really friends and they'd come out to me as gay, I don't think I would like talk to them about it. I think that that's something that should be between like your close friends, because they're not going to even listen to you. They're just going to think you're hateful if you bring it up. And it sets them like further into their stance. Kind of a tangent, but it's like if a Jehovah's Witness comes to your door and you're like, "Ruh, I'm Satan and I'm going to eat your children," that's just going to further their beliefs that all outsiders are evil. So while I will kind of like bring it up online every now and then, especially if someone approaches me first, I think, you know, I wouldn't really be outspoken about it. I have been anti-transgender. That is something that I think it differs from the normal like LGB. I think that transgenderism stems from mental illnesses. Rip your Twitch if they find this anyway. I think that it does stem from mental illness like autogynephilia or gender dysphoria, and while those may be like real issues, I think that cutting off healthy body parts and trying to be something you're not is definitely not healthy. It reminds me of lobotomies back in the day where it was being pushed and people were like, this is great, it's like the cure for everything. And then it wasn't, and that's what we're gonna see. People are gonna start coming out and being like, yeah, this was actually super life-ruining, and hopefully we'll get to that point where it stops. But yeah, I've been anti-trans, pretty unagreeable with LGB kind of stuff.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, my beliefs don't really fully disagree with yours, right? As you know, I do run a support group to help, you know, LGBT, just people come back to the faith and, you know, can be accepted while living their life. And even though I see some of them live their life in sin, I think, you know, there at least should be a connection with God still. You don't have to give up all of your beliefs just because of what you're doing. And I you know, it's a very uncomfortable topic for people. Like,
Yeah.
one of my co-hosts is not going to be in the stream just because I knew, like, I was like, hey, you know, I'm bringing this up, and he just straight up wasn't going to be here. So, let's go on to the next one. What's your take on the Vtard's use of terms like retard and obesity, and how did that influence your time in the group? I do want to make a quick note. The reason I say obesity and preface it as a slur here is because of the video that was made where this woman, another VTuber, I'm not going to say her name, used it and bleeped it out as a slur, and I thought, you know, it was something that was also...
What? Okay, yeah, that was gonna be my first question, was like, it's interesting that obesity is framed as a slur on par with retard, because, it's like putting the N-word next to bitch, like, that's just not...
Yeah, right.
That's not... Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I am not afraid of using slurs. I will, like, hold myself back if it's gonna get me banned from, like, a platform. But like in passing, I call my friends the N-word. I would call my friends retard, like stuff like that. I don't care. I'm not gonna say them here because I'm not gonna get you banned. But
Thank
that's
you.
something that I've never had a problem with. I think that obesity is not a slur, and that that's retarded. Um, like, yeah, it's a condition. It's like, would you say that leukemia is a slur? Oh, you person with leukemia. Like,
Well,
that's just
yeah, but
crazy.
they're following it under fat shaming, but with like
We should
Sydney's.
fat shame. Like, I I don't think that anyone should be encouraged to be fat.
It's
And
very unhealthy.
like that's another like thing that that's another thing that turned me away from liberalism because I was dating this guy who was like super liberal. He thought he was like non-binary, stuff like that. And I was liberal at the time too, but I had started watching like fat acceptance videos, like um not like fat acceptance videos, but like people who were talking about fat acceptance and how it was bad and all this stuff. And he's like, I really don't like how you're watching those fat acceptance videos. You know, it's just that rubs me the wrong way because he was fat. And I'm like, okay, that kind of doesn't sit well with me. Um, but yeah, I think fat acceptance is really unhealthy. I think fat is really unhealthy. Like, I'm chubby. People have seen me. I do work out. I do physical labor, like, most days of the week. Um, I have, like, gotten down from being, like, 200 pounds to, like, 160. So it's kind of, like,
I
a big
mean,
topic for me.
I can agree
Yeah.
with you. Being fat is very unhealthy. My story was like, I was 300 pounds roughly in university because I would study all the time and just eat like
Mm-hmm.
garbage. I mean, it's a common thing, right? When you're in university.
Yeah, being sedentary and just eating unhealthily, and that's how most people find themselves there. They don't go outside much and just sit at home and order food.
Right, and I
Mhm.
went down. Right now I'm at like 185, I believe. So, and I actually credit that to Michaela and Jordan Peterson. I did the all meat diet.
Oh yeah.
Super helpful.
Okay.
Completely works. Yeah.
I'll have to look into that.
Yes, yes. And it's not something I was allergic to.
Yeah.
Let's see here. How do you view the Vtard's pro AI stance that they had, and how did it play a role in the interactions in content creation?
Yeah, so I don't really care for AI. Like in that sense, I mean that I don't care. I feel like it's heavily over exaggerated. Um, People who are very much anti-AI see all this fear mongering where it's like, you generated that picture and you just wasted like 5 tons of water just through that single picture. And I think that it's kind of ridiculous.
Even though,
If you actually look into it, it doesn't impact as much as they're saying that it does. It's like, are you going to stop using your electric oven? Are
um,
you going to not have a fridge anymore? Are you going to stop using lights in your house? Because that's about equivalent to the like water that you're consuming through the use of AI. And it's become one of those like buzz topics where you're either for or against it, there's no in between. And while I think that you should use like real artists first, if you don't have the resources to do so, I'm not going to shame you for doing that. Like being an artist myself, I see a lot of artists in the like indie sphere that are like, if a customer comes to me with an AI reference, I am turning them away. You can't use AI and commission me. And I'm like, do you want them to commission artists or not? Like, they're using AI to get a general picture of what they want to put their ideas on paper, um,
and then they're
and
gonna
you're
pay
limiting
you.
accessibility. Yeah, they're paying you to turn that into like something they like your style so much they want you to make it. Um, AI is supposed to be a tool, and I think it can be really helpful. Like if you have an idea in your head, but you don't exactly know how to translate it into a picture, because a lot of people struggle with that. I think it can be a good thing. I don't think it should be used for everything. I think that like big brands who can afford to hire an artist should do so. But if you're just using it for like a quick picture, I don't care. Yeah.
Speaking of that, it's a quarter of a teaspoon. This was just sent to me while we're doing it for a prompt, and half a cup for a picture.
Oh my goodness.
So,
Oh my goodness. PETA needs to get on this. Those guys at Collective Shout, oh my gosh. They need to hop on this. We need to save the water. It's not like it's recyclable or anything. You know, water doesn't get recycled through the clouds. We don't have a natural thing for that. Guys, we're gonna die.
We're gonna dehydrate.
That picture of an anime girl is gonna kill you.
Let's see here. What is your opinion on VTubers / idols hiding their significant others?
I feel like 90% of VTubers do it. There are a lot of VTubers that you don't realize have boyfriends. Like Nimmy Nightmare. I mean, you guys didn't even know that she was engaged until she was getting married. I don't think that it's like the end of the world for VTubers to hide their boyfriends because it kind of comes with the territory. I wouldn't do it, and I have been very like adamant that people know that I have a boyfriend because I don't want that parasocialness. But what people don't seem to realize is that VTubing is a job for a lot of these girls. You wouldn't want your OnlyFans girl to come out and say that she has a boyfriend after she's been talking to you as if you were her boyfriend. I think that is kind of wrong. Like,
Morally.
how a lot of these VTubers get so parasocial with people and are like, oh, would you want to marry me? If you were stuck in a room with me for 3 days, what would you do? Like, that kind of stuff, I feel like is not okay when you already have a boyfriend. But yeah, that's why I've been so, like, here's my boyfriend. This is him. I love him. Like, I want people to understand that and not follow me because they think they have a chance with me. And I've been like that since the start.
And I do want to preface, her boyfriend's awesome. I talked to him. Amazing guy. If I met him IRL, he would be like my best
He is
friend.
great.
Super religious man. Did you all ask Shiro on why there was a guy in the girl group? No, we can get to that question now because you brought it up.
Okay.
But let's see, that was
Yeah,
under...
so...
Hold on, let me ask the one...
Yeah.
Where is it? I genuinely don't know what page it was.
Bro has so many questions, he lost it.
I have 6
You
pages!
should have numbered them.
I should have
You
numbered
should have, like,
them.
highlighted and stuff. Yeah. Color-coded. Yeah.
Don't
that.
bring up color coding. I color coded the other one. Okay, how about you?
I love organism.
You answer this question like it is, and then we'll get to the to that question after. All right. So
Thank you,
go
Nick,
ahead.
Nick.
Go ahead and just answer this question, and then we'll bring it up when we get to that one later. BM, neck
Yeah.
be here.
Okay, so yeah, already asked Shiro why there was a guy in an all-girl group. So, I don't know if people know this yet, but none of us knew. As far as I'm aware, at least, none of us knew that Nachisu was a guy. And I never tuned into his streams. I can be honest about that. I never really, like, looked into him that far. So, I didn't realize that he was even, like, using a voice changer. Until it was brought up. So I hadn't, like, heard his voice with or without the voice changer. I purposely, like, distanced myself from all of that because I didn't want to think about it. So yeah, none of us even knew. And I think a lot of people forget that this all happened over a matter of a few days. It's not like we knew this person for months. I mean, I don't know the extent of Akemi and Nachisu's relationship, but as far as, like, me, Saturn, and Nines, I don't think that, like, we knew him.
Right.
Like, he kind of just appeared like a wild Pokemon. Like, we didn't know him.
So with my discussions with them, Um, they did not know. They told me that they lied to
Yeah.
him. He himself told me that he lied to them on purpose. Uh,
And yeah, I can see that
and
now.
but granted, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because again, he was playing a part. He didn't want.
Mhm.
I mean, being in January 6th, like one of the members, I understand where he's coming from, and I mean,
Yeah.
it was for fun and it was for the gag, and he really did believe a lot of
I figured, yeah.
what what his VTuber was saying, you know, and honestly, it's a shame that he ended up quitting, but you know, what are you gonna do?
Mhm. Like, there's some things that I look back on and I'm like, oh, based. But at the same time, like, I couldn't be involved with someone who is a hypocrite. And I mean, we'll, like, get to that later. Um, but yeah, I didn't know him. And I'm pretty sure, and, like, Akemi can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure that Akemi opened up, like, applications for the Vtards group, and I think he joined that way.
Right.
Um, I don't know how long he was streaming before that. I don't know if he made the account just to infiltrate the group or if he just made it to like troll, but I am kind of interested to hear like the origin story of this account, this gimmick. Um I don't know if he talked about it in like his recent stream, but
Yeah, he talked a little bit about it during his Rumble stream.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of that. I didn't
Oh, it's
care to
gone,
know, so.
so you can't.
Oh, it's gone now? Well, it's probably
That's
archived.
that's a question.
The people on Kiwi are like archiving everything,
Of
so
course.
if it's gone, no, it's not.
The question we had is, how do you feel of Nasichu Miku being a man named Kenneth? Do you
Oh,
feel
yeah.
betrayed in any way that he lied to you? That was the question. So we're gonna just mark that with my pen.
I feel like my intuition was kind of right, and I'm like patting myself on the back for that because I knew that something was off. Um, I had a problem with Nachisu from the beginning, and again, this happened over a matter of days. And anyone who was in my server at the time knows that I was like working almost every single day
Right.
that this was occurring, either by being called in or being scheduled. So I, majority of the day I sleep until right before my shift, and then I wake up, look at my phone, go to work, and then I come back and I have maybe a few hours before I go to bed again. I mean, such is life when you work a job. So I was like talking in VCs, and that's like the only time that I would really talk about the whole thing. And in these VCs, I was saying how like I'm really not comfortable with the whole Nachisu thing. Like, I was even talking with my boyfriend, like, I don't really know how I feel about this. Should I stay? Like, should I go? Will it make me look like, a coward if I back down? Like, people are going to give me shit for it. I know that they are. Am I really ready? Am I, like, ready to deal with that? And there was so much back and forth and internal conflict going on whether or not I should stay. Because this was a friend of my friend, and I kind of stuck around for a few days to see how it would play out, and when I saw that it was getting more attention than what it was worth, I had to back out. I couldn't stand by and, like, stick around, something I didn't, like, fully support. Um, so people had started reaching out to me, and they're like, hey, have you actually looked into this Nachisu person? Because I'm seeing all these tweets, and he's saying, like, that none of this is a joke. Because I thought that it was a gimmick at first, okay? While I still wasn't comfortable with it, I thought, okay, it's ironic. Like, people have been calling Republicans Nazis for, since the 2016 election, maybe sooner. So maybe he's just playing into it. And I had brought it up to Nachisu. I'm like, hey, so have you considered, like,
I think he did
ever...
play into it a little bit.
Yeah. I did message in the group chat, and I mean, these are all, like, public now, so everyone knows. Like, I did say, like, hey, have you considered, like, changing your brand? I mean, like, if you're willing to, like, I'll even make you a new outfit. I will make you a model for free if you want. Like, I can help you. If you want, oh, this was in the Vtard server. If you want like a new model, I can help you. You can still have the red hair, just maybe something that's not so like shock value and edgy. And he's like, no, I kind of want to keep this, and I can see that Shiro now has conflict with me,
And he made
and
that
stuff like
model
that.
and rigged it. If you don't know.
Uh, Made. It's AI, but yeah.
Okay.
um, yeah. I mean, if people, one thing, and I don't mean this as a dig, I mean this as like genuine, like why, um, people are saying that he makes a bunch of money.
Two
Why couldn't
hundred
he
and
just
thirty-three
commission someone?
thousand a year.
Yeah, people are saying he makes like over six figures, so why couldn't he commission, like, my models are 500 bucks. Why couldn't you spend like 500 bucks on some,
He gets
like,
$6,000 a month.
even a low class?
Minimum.
Yeah, even a low class rigger that's like not even like half of your income a month. Like, you could get a really good model for half of your income a month. Like, even less than that. And he still chose to use the AI model. Like, I don't know if there's like irony behind it or something. Maybe it was for outrage. Um, Rage bait, I guess. Anything for liberals. I don't know.
What do you think about big VTubing companies and their contracts? This was actually added by BM. 'Cause
Okay.
he was a fan of like HoloLive, well, it is, and
Yeah.
large companies like that. So, what's your opinion on
Like large companies.
it? Hello, don't.
It can. That's a whole can of worms because they can go really well, or they can go terrible, like we're seeing with V Shoujo. Um, I feel like it's very draining on the talents. When VTubing is your full-time job, it can be very stressful. There was a period of time, especially when I first started, where I had like a very consistent schedule. I was streaming most days of the week. I was unemployed at the time, so I was able to do that. Um, but yeah, it can be really draining, and you can start to hate VTubing. So I feel like it's not good to make VTubing your full-time job and go corporate, but I mean, if it's something that you're willing to chase, it can be a great opportunity. Like, you can get a bunch of money and followers if that's what you care about.
All right, let's hop right into controversies then.
Okay.
That we got in. Now, I'm going to do an interview with Nines later on. Not today,
Mm-hmm.
but I want your opinion, and then I want her opinion on it. So some of these questions are more, I'm going to ask them the same, and we're going to see the differences, because I think a lot of people have misrepresented the situation, especially in like videos like Royalty Made and
Mm-hmm.
some of the other people.
Like the Underworld Fox, stuff like that. And
Yeah.
these people didn't even reach out to me for my side of things. The only person who ever reached out to me for like my opinion was Kanishi.
And I
None of
did.
the other like people did, so
Now I did talk to Outer World Fox, and you know, that's not
Neko
true.
Nekosuki. Maybe you did, if you can like find DMs on it. There was a few people who wanted to talk to me, I guess.
Right. And but Underworld Fox and Kanishi and Ginger, who did all of the other um, interviews, I talked to all of them. And Outer World Fox did give me some information, some private information that I'm going to use later on. I used it to make some of your questions and some of, for the Vtards before that interview was canceled. But not every screenshot you sent me really had context until I saw the ones that he sent me. And they told me, the Vtards told me, that all the screenshots were edited. Now, I don't believe you told me that, right? I don't believe that's what you said.
Huh.
But it doesn't look like any
Yeah.
screenshot was edited. So I don't
I don't
I
think
don't
any
bel
of them were on either side, no.
Yeah, so I don't believe that to be the case, and I think there's situations where both parties were wrong here. It was really
Yeah,
well put by
there were
royalty.
some things that I did wrong. Mm-hmm.
Um, it looked like a high school drama fight.
That's how it felt, yeah.
Okay, so controversies. You accused Akemi's aggression of going too far, contrasting with the Vtard's no harassment provoked stance, provoked stance, and that's what I was told. No harassment unless provoked. That's a direct quote. How did this, alongside with Nine's Nara backlash in the leaked DM, shape your view of their community?
Nine's and Yara backlash. Trying to think of that. I don't know if I've seen the Nine's and Yara backlash.
They had a fight on Twitter, and Nine's pretty much, she wouldn't like me saying this, but pretty much did have an outburst. And it wasn't really the whole scenario. Granted, Nara probably deserves some of it for instigating, but, you know, if you skip the second half of that question, just tell me about the no harassment unless provoked and the view on their community that they were basically provoking other people.
And yeah, that's one thing that I feel like even if they were provoked first, you can control how you react. That's one thing, like, yeah, you can't control how, like, what people say about you, but you can control how you react. Like, throughout this entire situation, I haven't really said much. Like, even in my own communities, I haven't shit-talked, I haven't, like, even brought them up. However, I can't say the same for them. I kept receiving screenshots of, hey, Akemi just said that you're a whore. Akemi just said, like, this about you and that, and is saying your boyfriend's a cuck, and all of this kind of stuff about me. So I think that people in the Vtards group should apply the, you can't control what people say, but you can control how you react kind of thing. With Akemi's, like, BPD, she tends to become inflammatory. If you even, and this was before the group even, like, got put together, but if you even went against something that she said, she would kind of blow up on you or crash out, and there are multiple people who have been, like, banned by her from either streams or, like, the Discord that she was in that can confirm, that she would just, like, crash out, quote unquote, even if you didn't, like, provoke her.
Right.
Yeah. I had quite a few people who would, like, DM me and be like, hey, why did Akemi ban me? Like, I didn't even do anything. So, yeah, I don't think that they actually stand by the unless provoked kind of thing. Maybe, like, on Twitter, but as far as the Discord server or anything, yeah, like Wawa was saying, like, she got really mad at anyone saying that she's wrong. Like, there was this one situation where Akemi's IRL friend came into her server, and she was saying, this IRL friend was saying that she, like, got into an accident or something, or she crashed her car and she's pregnant, and was talking about all this, and Minnie and I think a few other people were saying to Akemi's IRL friend, like, hey, maybe that's not the first thing you come into a Discord and say. Like, I think that talking about how you crashed your car while pregnant is not something that you should just publicly announce to people. Yeah. That's a terrible first impression. And Akemi got kind of pissed about that because, that was her IRL friend. Even though this friend was in the wrong, Akemi was still, like, really upset and, like, going out on Minnie about it. And then, yeah, like, Neko was saying, someone asked her if she did OF and she locked chats for 3 hours. Like, this is the kind of stuff that would happen. I don't know much about, like, Saturn or Nines as far as their aggression, because Akemi is, like, the main one that I
Antagonist
noticed.
to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
We pretty much say
Yeah,
it like
she's
that.
pretty antagonistic. Like, and I don't even mean that as like a dig to her. I mean that as like this is what I've noticed. Um, and
Uh,
again, like I used to kind of be like that. I used to always have like I would argue on Instagram. I would always have an Instagram argument in my notifications. I would always be like going after someone. And that was when I was a liberal.
right,
And it's very giving in to your BPD kind of thing. Like, it's been outed now that I have HPD, histrionic personality disorder, and that's something that I've gone through like years of therapy for. Like, I was in an inpatient therapy program for this.
right.
Um, so it's something that you can manage. Like, even if you have BPD, you have HPD, you have like all these things, it's not an excuse to go after people. Like, it can be an explanation, but you can control it to an extent. Um, and having this constant echo chamber of like, yeah, like get him. People encouraging her to do so, she's never gonna get better if people keep like egging her on.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I do know most of you are watching on Kick right now. I do want to say for those on Twitch, there's going to be an ad in about 1 minute. If you want to not see the ad, just move over to the Kick stream, like letting everyone know. That is in Twitch, but I know most people don't watch on Twitch anymore. At least not my fans.
I'm watching on Twitch.
Let's see. Saturn's liberal to conservative shift in non-racist stance set her apart. How did your presence influence your mediation attempts, given the Vtard's Jewish racism? There's another word for that, but we're not going to say that. And Miku's Nazi act, which clashed with your values.
How did my
I
mediation
can repeat it if you wish.
like help them or what? Sorry, I'm trying to understand. Excuse my small brain moment.
Cyril, uh, Saturn's liberal to conservative shift and non-racist stance set her apart. How did her presence influence your mediation attempts? Okay, given the Vtard's Jewish racism and Miku's Nazi act, which clashed with your values.
So, Saturn being present and being like anti-racism, how did that influence my mediation attempt
Basic,
between
what it
like not
since since Miku is avidly hateful towards Jewish people and black people and anything like that.
Mhm.
Did your mediation attempts, right, with her,
Mhm.
was she on your side? Were you supported in any way from any of the other individuals? That's basically what the question is asking.
Okay. Um, I don't remember interacting with Saturn much. I thought it was kind of interesting that she clings so hard to being native, especially when she's like white looking. Like I'm Native American, and since I am kind of pale, I don't like cling to it. I don't like tell people because I feel like I'm just gonna be like, no, since I don't look the part.
Yeah,
Um,
you don't.
yeah, I don't. Like I have the dark hair and I'm getting more tan now, but that's like about it. Um, but I have like when I was going through a child custody issue, like with my parents, it's known that they're split now. When we were going through that, ICWA had to be involved. So, like, I'm native enough that ICWA had to be applied to my case. Um, I thought it was kind of weird that she was in the group with, like, being so adamant about being, like, native and, like, anti-racist and stuff like that. But I figured, like, the whole we can disagree on things and still get along, like, that I feel like was kind of more acceptable than the whole Nazi thing. Um, as far as people who supported me, Nines was pretty supportive on me leaving the group. Um, I don't remember how it went down as far as like the me actually leaving in our group chat or whatever, but Nines was pretty supportive of me. I didn't really talk to Saturn that much, so I don't know her opinion, and I don't want to like put words in her mouth or anything. But yeah, Nines is pretty supportive.
Do you want to make a correction? The waterboarding here.
Mhm.
Miku, I spoke with him. He is not a Jew. I don't want to misrepresent him, as my conversations with him have all been very nice. And when I was doxxed too, he came and actually apologized to me in the DMs and everything. And I have no ill will towards anyone. I just want to make like the story is straight for everyone. Last question on the first page. Reflecting on your time with Vtards, and yes, we're still on the first page, what could have prevented your fallout with Akemi, Miku, and Nine, and Saturn? How do you see the group addressing the doxing, Nara drama, and post-Trump emboldenment? Well, we know how we know now what actually happened. You know, they dissolved.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and this is something that I could have done differently. With my initial departure, I definitely could have talked more to them about it, and we could have made a like announcement post like, hey, Shiro's leaving the group. But I had some internal fear that it would be misconstrued. And I wanted to be honest with people on why I was leaving the group. Like with Iron Mouse leaving V Shoujo, if she hadn't made that video exposing how it actually was, no one would have known. And I wanted people to know how it actually was in there. That I was uncomfortable with the Kemi being so aggressive, that I wasn't comfortable with Nachisu, and that he had originally, although he's like switched up on this multiple times, originally been like anti-lolicon, and a lot of people when I was talking in those VCs were like, oh, I didn't know that he was like anti-lolly, or like anti-lolicon. That's kind of like, I don't know if I would have followed him if I knew that. So I wanted people to kind of know the truth, and I didn't want it to get covered up and stuff like that. That's also why I posted that screenshot originally, was so that people would know that that's how it went down, and I didn't want him to misconstrue it and be like, oh, Shira's a pedophile, stuff like that, even though
Which that's what happened
anyway.
Yeah. I do want to make a quick apology. I meant to disable all the chat bots, like the Poke info game and stuff. It's been going in the Twitch chat. I meant to disable
the
that.
Pokemon.
Yeah, I disabled it in the other ones. That's my bad. You know, my normal streams are gaming, so that's kind of like more people use it when I do gaming streams.
Yeah.
So that's a whoopsie. But Neko says, the VTuber tubing community as a whole is unapologetic. They have canceled people for less. That's true.
Yep.
I would agree.
People would try to cancel me for being like right-wing in the first place. People have. I mean, I've been put on like block lists or like those Twitter lists that are like people who are bigots and stuff like that.
There was a subreddit where someone put a hit out on me for me being conservative, and you know, we had to get it taken down. But it was, I mean, it's been rough. I mean, people really do not like our opinions. You know, people really, I mean, genuinely, you know, I don't care about this kind of stuff, but you know, people really hate me, like actually hate me, like deep down. And I think I've been pretty nice to everyone at any point, you know?
Yeah.
Reported not supporting Ukraine.
Party of peace and tolerance, folks.
Yeah, for not wanting politics in my chat. I got excluded and banned. Oof. Oh, here's a real winner of a question. How did the Vtards claim... Now, this is what they claimed to me. Now, I do want to say the mods are no longer there, but they're mods including Baelish, Doinkers, which was not a mod, but there.
Doinkers.
They exposed a pedophile ring and in Miku's server. Now, I say, how did this affect your trust in the group, especially given that it was an 18 plus server rules? But you apparently had no idea, anything about that or anything.
So, yeah, that didn't happen until after I had left. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it didn't happen until after I left, or it was like right on the edge of when I was leaving. But someone had approached me in DMs, like, hey, there are pedophiles in Nachisu's server and they're not doing anything about it. Like, I've brought it to their attention and they're just not doing anything. And I actually looked into it and he had like sent me the screenshots, even though he went back and deleted all of the DMs. Every single DM gone. And I didn't have my Vencord, like I didn't have my computer open, so Vencord didn't save it unfortunately. But like everything's freaking gone. He was sending me screenshots, of these people sharing like ToddlerCon images, and originally how he had framed it was that there was like actual CP in the server, and I was like, oh shit, like if they're not doing anything about it, like please report it to law enforcement. Like you need to report this to actual cops because they can do something about it. And then he started sending me the screenshots and I'm like, fuck. That's drawn. Like you can't unfortunately report it to the police. You are gonna still have to go through them. And he's like, oh, so you support it. And I'm like, no. I still think that's freaking gross. That's disgusting. But
no legal
you
action
can't.
Can be taken.
Yeah, the cops will kind of laugh in your face about it. Like, you can't do anything about it legally. So.
I can also confirm.
That's the pedophile ring, quote unquote.
I talked to Bitcoin, and your statements here are true. As he was the one.
Yeah, Bitcoin is the one who approached me.
Yeah.
And the one who was being talked about was Bissy Boo.
I don't know who that is.
Who was so Bissy Boo is, you can probably still find his I think he's a Babaniku VTuber online. That's who was sharing the ToddlerCon images. And I think Bissy Boo also used a like Nazi kind of thingy. Yeah.
Nasichu's BF.
Trying to find her.
Top mod. So it wasn't actually her boyfriend. Posted a lot. Okay. What was your reaction to Miku's radical turn into Nazi-themed persona via Nick Fuentes, and how did it impact your dynamic with her? Or, well, with him.
Wait, with Nick Fuentes?
Yeah, so...
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know much about Nick Fuentes.
Miku told me that his shift towards Nazism was because of Nick Fuentes. And that's where the radical turn in persona was. And did this affect your dynamic with him?
Like him being more radical, I feel like that did affect the dynamic. I don't know. Because you have to already be pretty radical to storm the Capitol.
Which, I do want to say, he did not storm the Capitol. He was there. I saw a video of it, because I went and researched it with my mods. A video of him going into the Capitol. He kind of just was standing where he wasn't supposed to. So... I don't know about storming the Capitol, more like being there, and that kind of sucks.
Yeah. Okay.
The Vtard's dissolved today. I know, and that's why we're talking to Shiro. We're gonna ask questions about that, and I'm gonna talk to Nines because she left too. And there's a lot of misconceptions about this group, and it painted almost everyone in a horrible light, and yet I went through everyone, and everyone's been super nice.
Does the dog move? Yes, look. He moves with me. He blinks on his own, but yeah, he moves. And he's actually got some sound redeems on my streams. He's a text-to-speech kind of pet, so... I have a couple of those on my own streams. Yeah. I made him.
not surprised Vtards didn't last more than 2 months. It was put together so sloppily. Yeah, it does
Yeah,
feel like
it was very
thrown.
last minute. Yeah.
Shiro, you
Sorry.
witnessed eternal tensions within the Vtards when a document by Riley Parka was released accusing Akemi of bias towards Minnie. How did this change the group dynamic?
So that entire drama with Riley and Minnie happened before the Vtards was even a thing. That
Okay.
was before I even knew of Saturn's existence. Nines wasn't in our community. And Nachisu wasn't even like a thought. I didn't know that Nachisu even existed. So yeah, Riley and Minnie's whole thing happened way before that. The Google Doc that was dropped on Akemi was quite a bit before that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. It did kind of change perception of Akemi a bit. She kind of has an echo chamber, so it didn't affect her that much. Um,
Did it
the whole
affect?
situation was very much overblown.
Was it a? Did you see her any differently after the doc?
Um, a bit. I felt like she was overreacting. Um, because it was just like a photo of her was shared with one person that she already knew. It's not like it was like leaked as far as I'm aware. Um, so I felt like it was kind of an overreaction. And she has multiple times where she was saying, I wouldn't care if my face got leaked because I'm pretty anyway, and stuff like that. And I do have screenshots of it.
And then she
Um,
cared when her face was
so
like.
yeah, she cared, and she cared a lot. And that's also where she kind of went against like Straub. Because I was in talks with Straub at one point. And while I'm not going to go into too much detail about it because I don't know how much I want to share. Um, I don't want Straub to be super like involved in this because she doesn't like deserve it.
Right.
Um,
I was.
but Kemi was under the impression that Straub was taking Minnie's side. Um, which is kind of just because Akemi was like really going after Minnie for it over something that I felt like wasn't a really big deal. She was calling her like a dirty packy and saying
Right.
stuff like that that was just really gross. So that kind of set off my alarm bells a little bit because if she would do something like that to Minnie, what's to say that she wouldn't do something that like that to me? And she did in the end. So
No.
yeah, that did kind of change my perception of her.
You read um, my previous questions with the Vtards, and I don't know if you read the question because I'm not sure if it was there on the document I gave, but I think I gave you the final version. A third
I
party
skimmed them.
that's anonymous send me the full list of DMs Akemi and Straub had. I'm not gonna say like who,
Okay.
but
Yeah, I think Akemi posted them herself as
no.
well, so
Well, she posted part of them, right? She posted the
okay.
one, and then but I saw the full conversation. The
Mhm.
conversation, and I didn't know they were real. I thought they were all fake, but then I saw a screenshot of her posting them, and some of them,
Mhm.
and they were identical. Uh,
Yeah.
so I'm just gonna put it this way: the conversation that Kemi had with Straub was very sweet and very nice, and Straub was actually very polite to Kemi. And
Mhm.
for her to go behind her back and post about it was very unwarranted. I think personally, that's how I see
Yeah.
it. But yeah,
Yeah, I didn't see that conversation until like after all of the drama. Because someone had sent it to me. Um, but I thought that was very uncool. Like she had posted the screenshots and was like, I quickly learned that peace was never an option. And I don't know, really rubs me the wrong way. The way Straub approaches things is how I strive to be. Um, she's very mindful. She's very peaceful. And she thinks about what she says before she says it. Which I think is something that Akemi could stand to learn from. I feel like if her and Straub were to actually talk and she were to kind of actually listen to her, she can learn quite a bit. Yeah, that was just kind of insane seeing that. Straub doesn't really have ill will towards anyone, even the people who hate her, so it's just kind of not okay for Akemi to be so hostile towards her. And there's another thing. So, her moderator, Thigh Lover, had actually posted Rev's docs in Akemi's server.
I talked to Thigh Lover.
And, yeah, that was allowed to stay up for quite a while before it was noticed. Like, Straub herself had to find that, and ask for it to get taken down.
Rev is not an ugly man.
Akemi,
by the way.
yeah, Akemi has said, like, oh, I didn't know that there was there, but how is your servers, like, the server that you claim to moderate well enough to have a minor in,
yes, Nick.
and have it not be a big deal, actually moderated so poorly that that's allowed to stay up. And somehow that's not that big of a deal. Like, he didn't get punished for it or anything. He was allowed to, remain a moderator, and I think still is, so that also rubbed me the wrong way.
Right. So the next question doesn't make sense, but we're going to edit it, and I'm going to say, reflecting on your time with the Vtards, how does Akemi's persona versus her real sensitivity, that was told to me that she's a little bit more sensitive IRL, change the group's handling of controversies?
Okay, yeah, I feel like deep down she is more sensitive. She tries to come off as like nothing gets to me and stuff like that, but I think she really is hurting right now. And I feel like she does need help. She probably wouldn't admit it, but like therapy would do her some good, and I feel like she could recover from this. It did affect the group quite a bit, because if she wouldn't have gone on that interview with Godfast, she could have saved her reputation a bit. Like, that's something that I asked her not to do. I said that, you know, he's just trying to rage bait you. Don't go in. He's trying to get you. Don't interact with him. And she went and did it anyway. And that's another thing that kind of pushed me away, that she wasn't listening to any input from me. She kept doing these interviews, having videos made, and if they would have just let everything quiet down and calm down, this wouldn't have happened. I don't think any of us would have been doxxed if they would have just remained silent like I did. Yeah, half of Godfast's questions were very fall for my trap, please. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like when he had said, like, what's your opinion on abortion? And she's like, well, it depends on the color. Like, that's something that
you think about
kind of damaged her reputation. Yeah.
I think abortion's bad all the time. Just want to make that very clear.
Yeah, for sure.
I do not mess with that. That is the one thing I stay on. Like, I will die on that hill.
Mm-hmm. As you should.
Who was your target audience when you were part of the Vtards, and how did you engage with them? And I'm going to include here, what do you think your target audience is now?
So my target audience when I was a part of the Vtards, I was hoping for people who are level-headed. Like if I can shout out some people, like Korik, sorry, my throat, Korik, NK, trying to think, people like that. Maybe Baru. People who are, like, very, like, level-headed and mature. And they find a little bit of humor in, the name and the irony of the group. I wanted people like that. For lack of better words, I want to say, like, dads. That was my group. That was my audience, because those guys tend to be like super chill. That was my target audience, was dads. In before that gets taken out of context, but yeah. Now I think my audience is kind of similar, but I also want people who are going to actually look at all sides. Yeah, I want people who are actually going to look at all sides, and who can form their own opinions. And I've been saying that for quite some time now. I mean, I want people to look at all sides before you come to a conclusion and stand by it until you die. Um, I think that that's really important instead of just seeing one person's story and being like, yep, that's it. Like, even mine. Look at all of my tweets, please. Look at everything that I'm saying. Look at everything that the other girls are saying, and please evaluate it for yourself. I don't want you to be biased towards me or against me. Like, if you're against me, I want it to be for your own reasons, not someone else's. If you're for me, I want it to be for your own reasons, not mine.
Alright. Thysafe said, stop lying. Bye Bye says, I'm not talking to you, lying furry. Interesting.
What am I lying about?
You have not talked to me?
It's kind of interesting.
Did I didn't talk to you, like, one-on-one. Oh, I'm talking to the furry. Yeah, I was gonna say, I talked to you, like, over VC. Thigh says you talked to Thigh. Thigh says that you talked to him.
That I talked to him?
Yeah, it says I'm talking to the furry.
I was in a Chemi server with him. If that's Thigh Lover.
I'm talking to you, Dawn. Me? Yeah, we spoke in VC. Before, right? Pretty sure. No? Well, I thought so. Could have been someone similar.
So, I buy N-word and Thighs Are Wonderful. Is that both Thigh Lover's account, I'm assuming now?
I'm pretty sure Thigh Safe is probably her.
Yeah.
Or Thigh, yeah.
There is speculation that Thigh Lover was involved in the doxing as well.
You think?
So, I don't really trust him. It's just hearsay right now, but...
From where?
I'm not going to out who sent it to me.
Alright. Bro, rage bait.
I mean,
baiting in Twitch chat.
He had posted Rev's docs before, so...
You posted
I don't entirely
Rev's...
unbelieve it, yeah. Thigh Lover is the one that posted Rev's docs in a Chemi server. I don't think he made it, but he did post it, so he knows how to navigate keying.
I mean, Thigh's gonna watch either way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy yourself.
Yeah, bro's rage baiting in the Twitch chat.
Yeah, made Rev for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so enjoy yourself, Thigh. Let's keep going.
Talking to yourself. Anyway.
How do you handle hate and criticism from the broader VTuber community during your time with Vtards?
How do I handle hate? Typically, I stayed out of it. There were a few times where I was in comment sections, like, trying to, like, correct some lies that were being spread about me. But for the most part, I did stay out of it. I thought that if I kind of closed my eyes to it, it just would stop. But it didn't. It, in fact, got worse. There was a period of time where I was being harassed through VGen, where someone was submitting requests to my VGen with, like, gore and, like, gross things and all this kind of stuff, and it got old really fast. It didn't really get to me, but I did have a cease and desist written and sent out to him, which he promptly responded, cease and desist this dick. So he had to get IP banned from VGen in order for that harassment to stop. I didn't respond to him. I think I sent him one request asking for him to stop before the cease and desist. I didn't want to interact with him or try to send hate back or anything, because, like, as I said before, if a Jehovah's Witness or a Mormon comes to your door and wants to talk to you about the good word, and you say, "Oh my gosh, I'm possessed by a demon and I'm gonna kill you," that's not gonna change their mind. So, actually having conversation, and as someone who has changed my mind on my opinions, it's through having real conversations, being approached with kindness and like that level-headed energy that you actually change your mind. So that's how I try to approach people. I don't try to like bully people or come aggressively. Okay, I can think of one point, and Akemi, I still think this is really funny because I know you're probably watching. There was at one point where Akemi and I kind of tag teamed. I don't know if we were in Vtards at the time, but there was this one girl who was going after Akemi's appearance, and we looked at her profile, and she had a really big forehead. So we went back and forth in the replies and played tic-tac-toe on her forehead.
That's funny.
And that's like one of the only times that I've like actually like gone after someone and bullied them. But that's because I thought it was really funny. And because they had attacked Akemi, so I thought it was defending her.
What measures did you take to ensure that the Vtard server was safe for members, like Snowy, given the group's extreme views?
I wasn't really involved in like the group's moderation.
Thank you, Splice.
I didn't really partake. Yeah. I didn't partake in like the bullying of Snowy. And I think I had made like a quote tweet that was like, I don't endorse this, like how they're responding to her. And I had ended up like talking to Starcat, about the whole thing, and I did not endorse that bullying of Snowy. I thought that was very like petty. Like how Snowy reacted with like threatening self-harm and stuff. I thought that was kind of like dramatic, but I don't think that it ever should have gotten to that point, and it was very avoidable.
Near Apocalypse is talking about...
Near Apocalypse is one of Akemi's supporters, who has been very active in her community, and is, I think, one of my biggest haters because he's an Akemi circle jerker, so, yeah.
Oof. BM got to him.
Yeah.
Look at that. BM got to him. The new mods are on patrol. They're on patrol. Hold up. We have a message. Give me a second. Mr. Free Speech. Hey. I am Mr. Free Speech. My mods aren't. So Saturn's watching. And she sent me a message. And she says that she wants to say that she is rather repulsed. She is speaking down on her culture because I look white. I'm proud of my culture and always will be. Native American is in your blood. Full stop. I don't think we did.
I don't think I was talking down on her.
Yeah, I do believe Native Americans are great, and I think Saturn's awesome for being Native American too, and so are you. I think it's I don't think there's any culture problem. It's genuinely pretty awesome, and I've completely support that. I don't think we have.
Yeah, like I was saying that I kind of relate to it. Saturn. I wasn't trying to like dog on you or anything.
One of my mods just co-host just DM'd me that I look nice, but she doesn't want to message and chat for reasons. Thank you. Let's see.
It's a very snazzy suit, indeed. Blue.
I recently heard you got accepted to IRAM. What do you think about the different approach they take on VTubing?
Yeah, so I recently got accepted for a few sponsorships. So I got accepted to stream on Irium, and I got accepted into Advanced GG. And I'm looking forward to my Irium debut for sure. I do like that they're kind of like anti-harassment. Like I know that there's that drama going around where allegedly that John guy got like banned for being Christian, but that actually wasn't the case. He got banned because he was harassing people. And I just hope that they apply that evenly. Like if an LGBTQ were to harass a Christian, like as long as they're applying that evenly, I will still support them. I've heard that their staff is really nice. They've been nothing but supportive to me, even though I have conservative views. I mean, they've looked through my Twitter page, and they still support me. So, yeah, look forward to that.
Group formation and dynamics. Last page on page 2. We're getting through these really slow.
Last page on page 2. Okay.
Last question on page 2. You described a chemi. Now this is from you to me, right? You described a chemi mocking and bullying Snowy at the point to self-harm, prompting your intervention between July 15th and July 16th. What do you think of a chemi's response after the intervention?
Do we have her response after the intervention?
I do not have it pulled up.
Because I want to be like as accurate as possible. I don't want to like frame it any sort of way, but from my memory, I think Akemi responded like kind of in a mocking way. You can fact check me on this, but I'm pretty sure she mocked Snowy for how she was reacting, stuff like that.
What is it, BM, bruh? What is it? Do you have the responses somewhere?
Yeah.
No thanks. What? No thanks. BM, you gotta be on the ball.
No thanks.
Ariam was a
No
full
thanks,
second,
bro.
Right trans cis. They don't mind all that. I would say so. Neko says Shiro's saying I'm a hater of her when everything. Wait. When everything bad I said was against the whore Straub. I don't think Straub's a whore.
Even,
thank you.
And she's
okay.
not.
I think.
And like saying stuff about my friends like that is kind of going after me as well. And Nier is like trying to say that he doesn't hate me when like you're calling Straub a whore. You're clearly not like
impartial.
Educated or informed.
And I do want to say,
you're clearly biased. I'm
trying to be as impartial as possible. I'm not taking any sides here. Okay. This is an interview. I want it to be known. I'm asking questions and asking her opinion. Okay. That's how we're doing this. So go ahead.
Yeah, just calling Straub a whore while she's like happily married is kind of insane. And she's nothing but kind, so it's kind of wild.
Akemi accused you of escalating drama on Twitter with passive-aggressive attacks, citing a lack of personal connection. How do you respond considering your polite stance towards her? In our personal interview that you had, in your mitigation efforts towards your exit.
So like, sorry, trying to remember the whole question. That was a lot. Could you repeat like the first part?
Yeah. Akemi accused you of escalating drama to Twitter with passive-aggressive attacks, citing a lack of personal connection. How do you respond considering your polite stance towards her in our interview that we had, and your mitigation efforts during your exit?
So I don't think that's entirely accurate to say that I was like doing passive-aggressive attacks. The only one that I ever like can think of that I did, I can think of two that she could probably take that way. The first was when I was originally, like when all of this went down and I had left the Vtards, I was in a VC with my server. And there were multiple people there who can like confirm this. The topic of her and her boyfriend was brought up, and I said that because like her boyfriend seems really passive, like it's my opinion that it's only a matter of time until he kind of like sees her aggression as well, and I feel like that's going to be the downfall of their relationship, is her aggression and him being like more passive. That's the only thing I said. I never like said anything like bad about them. Like if they work out, that's great for them, but that's just my opinion. And then the other one that I can think of is where I had like dropped the minor being in her server. And there's an important context to that. I didn't just drop that unprompted. Like with the whole Vtard's message of not harassing unless provoked, Akemi had dropped some stuff about my miscarriage,
Mm-hmm.
um, and saying that I wouldn't have been a good mom anyway, and stuff like that. But she's like defended her stance on that. Like I'm kind of over it at this point. It shouldn't have been brought up. And I was pretty upset in the moment, and just kind of blown away. Like, why would you say something like that? That's too far. Um, and so I posted that screenshot of the minor being in there, being like, "Yeah, Kemi lets me stay here." And I mean, looking back on it, it's something that I shouldn't have posted because it did kind of frame her in a negative light. Um, and I don't know. I was just so upset and kind of shocked that she would say something like so heartless. So that was kind of a I
Right.
posted that in response to it. It wasn't just like unprompted, here's this, like I want to escalate. It was just if she is going to say this about me, here's this
Right.
kind of thing.
Uh,
Other than that, I did not like comment on it really.
you leveraged your HPD therapy experience to address Akemi's BPD influence shock value,
Mhm.
including your abortion race comment, or her abortion race comment. My apologies. How did this, alongside the lolicon argument that you had with Miku, shape your decision to leave?
Yeah, so sorry, the first part. Can you repeat like the first few words?
You leveraged your HPD therapy experience to address Akemi's BPD influence
Yeah.
shock value,
Mhm.
including her abortion race comment. How did this,
Yeah.
alongside the lolicon argument that you had with Miku, shape your decision to leave?
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I've kind of talked about this already. Um, but yeah, her going on that interview with Godfast and just taking the rage bait and continuing to do so really like turned me away from her. Um, I mean, me leaving Akemi's side had probably been like a long time coming because I think if you look back in the chat logs, with me in Akemi's server, I used to be in her server like daily. Um, and then you'll probably notice that there was a sudden change. Not sudden, it was probably over a few days where I just stopped talking as much and eventually moved to my own server. Um, and that was because like I was talking to my friends, I was talking to my boyfriend, and I was like, I see that, she's becoming more aggressive. She's taking this turn, and I don't know if I should continue supporting her. Um, and then she started the group and wanted me involved in it, so um I figured the group could probably be a way for us to reconnect a bit more and for me to help her. And it's known by now that I thought that if I wasn't involved, that she would only get worse. Um, and I feel like if I was kind of right, if I wasn't involved with Nachisu being in there, who's to say that this wouldn't have been outed? Who's
Right.
to say that she wouldn't have gone like as extremist as Nachisu has, like that kind of stuff. I considered myself to be damage control for Akemi. Um, that's kind of, you know, again, I kind of saw myself in her back when I used to be a liberal and I was like arguing with people all the time, and I know how draining that is. I know that she's like just reeling. She's always got hateful energy, and it's got to be exhausting putting
Right.
all of that energy into hating people. Like, you'll find that when you take a more positive outlook and you start to be kind to people and, you know, want forgiveness for the people that hate you, um, when you start forgiving people, it kind of heals you. and I can only wish that on her as well.
I mean, like, my current stance is I genuinely don't hate any of the girls in the group, including Miku. He was super
Yeah,
nice. So, like,
and
it's.
I don't hate anyone. I don't even hate Akemi. Like, if she were to come to me and be like, "Hey, Shiro, I'm sorry. Um, you did some things wrong, but I also did some things wrong. Like, can we like talk about it and come to me in good faith, and genuinely want to improve and be friends?" I would totally accept her. Like, I have already kind of forgiven her. Um, and I feel like she's not beyond saving, but yeah, I don't think anyone is beyond forgiveness.
Um.
Heck, even if Matissa were to be like, "Hey, Shiro," I would probably become friends with him again. Like, all I want is an apology for all the things that have been said about me.
You clash with Miku over her Nazi themed persona, his. This was written before, by the way. And
Mhm.
9 over Miku's model change, leading to your departure. How did these tensions with Miku and 9, because 9 was, at least from the screenshots I had, was involved in this conversation, both around the same age,
Yeah.
how did the Vtard's rigid free speech and anti-trans stance?
Yeah, so Nines was in the screenshots, and I feel like, um, I was kind of surprised that she wasn't backing me, like, as much as I thought she could. I figured that when I left, she would leave as well, but I think she was kind of worried with seeing how much I was being harassed. I think she was kind of worried about that. That kind of like maybe scared her out of leaving. She didn't want to like stand up to Akemi. Um, because Akemi can be kind of scary. Um, hmm. Trying to think if I have anything else on that.
Okay. Well, I mean, we're only on page 3, so having
Yeah,
short,
only
short,
only on page
short,
3
answers might be a little bit better. All right.
for me. Yeah, my poor throat.
Akemi questioned your timing, tweeting 10 minutes before leaving and gaining exposure this way. What drove this? Especially with Starcat and Snowy's concerns, which I spoke to Starcat, over the Blacklist
Hmm.
channel mentioning. What was the channel mentioning Kiss Alice amid the Vtard selective server? Now, I don't really
Yeah.
understand this question, but I assume you do a little bit more.
Kind of. There's speculation as to why I stayed in the Vtard server. Um, and the only reason why I stayed in the Vtard server for like 10 minutes after tweeting, I had already like closed everything out and I was like, for sure, this is what I'm doing. I am leaving. So I wrote the tweet. I stayed in the server so I could screenshot stuff. I figured that would kind of be like common sense. But it's kind of being used as like a, "Oh, well, you stuck around." Like, no, I was just there so I could screenshot if I needed to,
But what about
and then I left.
why wouldn't you screenshot before you left? Why would you even take the precaution
Um,
of them banning you?
why didn't I screenshot before I left?
Yeah, why would before you made the before you made the announcement? Why wouldn't you do everything you needed to
There's
do?
some stuff that I did. There's some stuff that I did screenshot. But I was going to like look back on the channels and see if there was anything that I might have missed.
Given thoughts on the Vtard's claim of exposing a pedophile ring, we talked about that.
Hmm.
So, according to a really long screenshot Akemi made, she
Oh
felt
yeah.
betrayed, suggesting you gained from the group and then left. How do you respond considering Saturn's non-racist shift in Miku's white supremacist persona, in which you couldn't handle per the Vtard's account? Now, I forgot to add to this. The reason I included those two tags there is like um, did you want that correlated to your success, the white supremacist and the non-racist shift? Since both of those are, I mean, staunchly different opinions to have.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Sorry, brain trying to put words together. That was a lot. Um, they're saying that like I benefited from the group and then left, and if I truly cared about that, because this is something that I weighed, because I did get like an increase in viewership from the group. If I truly cared about that, I would have stayed. If I cared about views and tips and follows more than like my own values, I would have stayed in the group. I would have stayed and I would have used that. I would have milked it like like they kind of did. I mean, they kind of milked it until the end. Um,
Window, hi
so
guys.
yeah, I don't think that's accurate to say that like I use them for growth or something because like I don't care about growth. I'm a hobby VTuber. I work a job. Like this is just for like my own entertainment.
Right.
Um, yeah, like people who know me know that like even my merch that I sell, yeah, like I lost followers after I left, and I knew that that would probably happen. Um, so yeah, like with my merch and stuff, I don't even like price it enough to like make money from it. I price it at the bare minimum so people can like buy it. I don't make much off of my merch sales because I don't care about the money. I only care about people like having Shiro merchandise. I think that it's cool to have my name out there and like people actually want to wear stuff that I made and I think that that's cool. Um so if that says anything about like my stance on VTubing and the importance of followers and making money and stuff, like yeah, I don't care that much.
All right. Content creation.
Yeah.
What kind of
Mhm.
content did you primarily create with the Vtards, and did it reflect? How did it reflect your beliefs? Did it affect your beliefs? Basically, did you make
So
any content that you didn't align with?
this is something that Godfast was criticizing me for, which I wanted to say something about, but I didn't. Um,
Welcome in,
he
window.
was criticizing that I didn't talk about politics on my streams. On my streams, I just acted like nothing happened. I just kept streaming like normal. And I noticed that when I had started my streams, especially after leaving the group, I would get an uptick in viewership at the beginning, and then once people realized that I wasn't going to talk about drama, I just wanted to like play with my friends and game and have fun, they left.
Right.
um I just thought it was silly. Um that everyone's just watching for anything that they can get and here I am just playing my game. I'm just streaming, and I've always been like that. I don't talk about drama on my streams. I just play my games. I play horror games. That's what I do. I collab with my friends. I like collabs.
Um,
That's it.
did you face any platform restrictions or bans due to your association with them, and how did you navigate those challenges?
Yes. I did get like put in Twitter jail a couple of times. I never got restricted from Twitch, of course, because as I just said, I never talked about it. Um, but yeah, I only ever got a couple of Twitter timeouts. I got put in Twitter jail for like 12 hours maximum.
Right.
I don't remember what it was for, but
How do
yeah,
you
there's a couple of times I probably said something too extreme.
how do you balance?
I think I said transgenderism is a mental illness. I think that's what I said. I can find it if you need.
No, I don't. How do you balance entertainment with expressing your views in your streams or alongside the Vtards?
How do I balance entertainment with my views? Um, yeah, I mean, I think that kind of ties into what I just talked about with like not talking about politics on my stream. I only really talk about them on Twitter. And even then, I've kind of kept it to a minimum, especially because I realized like if you are constantly arguing with people and like constantly being so controversial, you become a brand risk
Right.
and you can't get any kind of deals. Like my streaming with Irium. I don't know if that would have happened. My sponsorship with Advanced, I don't know if that would have happened. And being with like the Vtard group also was a brand risk. So that like minorly weighed into my decision as well. I prefer being indie anyway. I've been in a couple of groups previously. And I just don't like, yeah. Like because of this whole thing, I lost groups that I was in. I was like a staff member for Zany Studios. Like no one really knows them, but I was a staff member at Zany Studios, and they kicked me out because of this. I was kicked out of the small VTuber clip server because of this. A couple of my model kids straight up were like, yeah, no, we're not gonna associate with you anymore. So, yeah, I mean, I lost a couple of close friends, and I lost like a couple of opportunities that I had, just for like associating with this guy.
Right.
So yeah, it's a brand risk.
Well, I mean, luckily my brands are literally, they expect this out of me, stuff like this. And I even had to say, like, hey, I'm streaming on Rumble and all of this information about me. Like, hey, I've been called this, this, and this. And they're like,
Yeah.
You stream for so long that it's fine. Like, I genuinely don't, they're like, yep. And I was like, okay, I mean, because I actually said to them, I can take you down. Like, I can take the sponsorship down. You sure? Like, I offered them. And they were like, no. Nah, you're okay. Like, all right, if that's what you say,
Yeah.
Godspeed.
I like this little table and chair that I have.
I know.
Very nice.
It was different. I had an interview set up for the girls, and it was, made with all of them, and then I had to change the background and all that because I wanted them to fit. But that's never going to get used now, so, that sucks. Shiro looks like a mob boss. That was the goal.
In the chair.
That was the goal, yeah.
Just give me a hat. Yeah, dog boss. Give me one of those hats and a cigarette in between my fingers. Yeah. I'm Mikemi's dad, everyone. That's the lore.
Did you collaborate with any VTubers outside the Vtarbs? And I think we did this already, right? Did we do this one?
Did I collaborate with any VTubers
outside the Vtards? How did the groups go affect those relationships?
Like while I was, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna mention their name because I don't want them to like face anything from me bringing them up, but I did have like one of my friends who has been there for, he's been there for me like my entire streaming career. And some people did reach out to them like, hey, are you friends with Shiro? Because I see that she's in this group, and I don't know if we can continue supporting you. And they've stuck by my side, but, I do kind of feel bad for them, like, having to deal with sort of that fallout from my own drama. Kind of guilt by association. There are quite a few people who are like, hey, Shiro, we can't associate with you anymore if you're going to be in this group.
I had some of that. I had VTubers that wrote to me saying, like, do you associate with them in any way? I just can't be friends with you. We're just going to have to block you.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's like, yeah. Like, do you even talk to this person? You don't have to agree with them, but do you even, like, talk to them? Because if you talk to them, I can't talk to you, and that's always been weird to me.
And I mean, everyone knows. It was especially surprising because everyone knows. Like, I do these interviews and I reach out to people. That's like my whole thing,
Yeah.
Why wouldn't? How are your girls' controversy that much different than the ones I've done?
Yeah.
The amount you hate for this, I know it's insane. I did get an insane amount of hate, and I do this all the time, but I don't think I've ever gotten more hate from trying to interview any people ever so far. Like, this has been the winner. Let's see here.
Apologies for my model. I'm using V-Bridger right now because my glasses interfere with my eye tracking, but in turn, it messed up my mouse tracking, and I had to like cut down the movement a lot because of the chair.
Hmm.
So, man, subconscious moment.
How do you maintain? Oh wait. Let's. We're gonna skip the next one. How do you respond to the
Yeah,
criticism?
far right and far left both got that cult shit. Yeah.
In a private interview that I had with Shiro, you told me when you came up with the term Vtard, the term Vtards. How do you feel that Akemi did not credit you for it, or did she? Like, I assume she didn't, but I want the correct response because I haven't got any information that she ever said.
Yeah.
Said that.
Like, people can correct me if I'm wrong, but she didn't really credit me for it. And I never, like, asked for credit for it, so I don't see it as, like, a huge thing. But if she's out there saying, like, oh yeah, we came up with the name ourselves, it's not true. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent because I don't know the full extent of it. I don't know if she's, like, claiming to come up with it or, like, saying that I didn't or something like that,
any
so
claims
I don't know.
anywhere. I haven't seen anything like that.
Mhm.
So no slander or anything. I don't think so. It was just something that
Yeah.
I put in here.
I've like seen a few people who are like, yeah, she couldn't handle Vtard, and I'm like, I came up with the name.
Have you experienced discrimination or harassment because of your beliefs? And wait,
Yes.
or your accent? Yeah. Yes.
Yes. I've already talked a little bit about the cease and desist that I had to send out. I have received multiple hate
Move closer.
DMs. Yeah, I received multiple
Thank
hate
you, Hollow.
DMs. Yeah, especially with people, like, just trying to troll me. I guess, people who used to follow me as well, but were, like, took Akemi's side and all of a sudden, like, got really hateful towards me. I didn't respond to them. I just blocked them. I kinda, it didn't really get to me, so I don't care that much. Yeah.
You've been kind of hard to hear this whole time, Don. Sorry. Brother,
Really?
are you serious?
Oh, right, I'm not watching your stream audio. I'm listening to you on Discord.
Was it that bad, guy? You could hear me a little bit, right? Is it okay now?
Water
Are we
says
good?
after you left Kemi's server with his stupid hate. It was funny.
Are we good now? It's good now? Okay, it's good now.
Near MAGA Vtuber fan, like, these are the kind of people that were, like, reaching out to, like... I'm not sure if Nier ever reached out to me, but I know that MAGA Vtuber fan had reached out to me.
Sounds fine.
With a
hey,
hate
puppy.
DM, so, yeah. Chaos Puppy!
I want to interview with Puppy eventually. She's super cool. If you don't know Puppy, she's an amazing person. And
I don't.
Puppy is on my controller, the Dawn of Everything controller that's coming out soon. Puppy is on that, so she is super cool. Definitely a fine VTuber.
I wasn't following her, but I'm totally gonna follow her.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Puppy Girl Army.
Puppy Girl Army. I definitely was not expecting that one. Let's see here. You don't want to interview with me, Lamau? No, I mean I do. I think you would have some really interesting takes. I mean, we may disagree a lot, but I would actually think that I would just want your perspective on things. Because I mean, this again, for this, I'm trying to be impartial. I just want the person I'm interviewing's opinions to be heard. It's not about what I care about or believe. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to get your opinions out to the world.
Because, yeah, I haven't even, done interviews yet on this whole situation. I tried to stay out of it and tried to just not say anything because I figured, if I was quiet, then no one could accuse me of, oh, you're starting drama, you're keeping it going. So...
We have
I just didn't say anything.
We have ad help.
Yeah.
And this is why most of the viewers are watching on Kick right now. Because ad hell sucks.
Thank you.
Go ahead and take a minute until the ads are over. because it's been an hour and a half. We're on page 3. Yeah, take a drink. Sit for a second. Someone in the Twitch chat, when the ads are over, write in chat saying the ads are over.
Yeah, I see. There was a straight fascist horde on Twitter hating Shiro for not supporting Nachisu. I was dying. Moment that Nachisu was found out a guy, they all went silent. Yeah, I did see that. It was kind of funny. Like, I would every now and then look through, and because I get like hundreds of comments a day, so I was just like scrolling through them. Yeah, it was kind of funny. Oh yeah, I'm watching your Twitch too, so I can tell you when the ad's over.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, the longest interview I had on stream was like 6 hours, I think.
Wait, that's actually adorable, but the slit is like really high on it. Yeah, the slit on this dress is like up to her thigh. I'm getting a dress ad. I'm being targeted.
A dress ad?
Because it's adorable. It's an adorable dress, but she has like a slit on the dress that's like almost up to her waist.
So, I don't think you're being targeted. Most of my audience, we looked it up because it tells you your demographic. It says like 70% of my audience are girls or something.
Oh.
So,
Girls do love like drama.
So, well, I mean, yeah, drama and then the stuff we talk about on my normal stream. All right, are the ads over?
They just ended.
Great. Welcome back. Right. I was going to say to Puppy, quickly before we go, we're trying to be impartial here. Like, I just want to see, like, your views. You know, it doesn't mean I have to agree with them. I'm trying to get your voices heard on your opinion on stuff. That's all. I mean, I'm friends with everybody. If I'm friends with Shiro and I'm also friends with the Vtards, and obviously, I mean, right now they're not alike. I mean, it doesn't matter what people believe. I'm not here to be friends with anyone. I'm here to get people's beliefs and information out. That's how I see it. All right. So now that that's over, let's go. In a call with you, you discussed your transition into Christianity. How did this change your daily life and affect your routines?
Yeah, so I haven't really come out and like done a testimony video or given my testimony yet. I still feel like I'm not up to the standard where I would like to be. Like everyone struggles with their own stuff. But I have a couple of habits that I'm trying to kick. And I feel like I don't want to get baptized and like fully give my testimony until I've gotten through that. Just a personal choice. But for the longest time I was atheist, and like one of my ex-boyfriends was like mega atheist. I've only really dated atheists. And while I was with my ex, Freeman and I were already like friends, and we had been talking, and Freeman would like tell me about the Bible, different stories, and at the time, like, I didn't believe any of it. Like, I just thought it was fun to listen to. And we would just talk about the Bible, kind of had Bible studies, even if I wasn't super invested. And then my sister, who is, like, going to a Christian high school, she's, super invested. She'd asked me to read the Bible, and I said, why would I read something that I don't believe in? And she's like, you should read it for, like, even just historical context. So I started reading the Bible, and started talking to Freeman more. And this was, like, after I had, like, already broken up with my boyfriend. This is, like, over months. Probably almost a year. And yeah, I had started going back to church, and I had gotten a new boyfriend, that I had, like, met on Tinder, and he was, like, a pretty devout Christian, and I had started going to church kind of to impress him, and over, like, the month or so that we were together, I had started to actually, like, invest in Christianity and started genuinely like believing, and I was like noticing things like, if you're not a Christian, you might not understand this, but if you are, you'll probably get where um you just get that feeling where like after something happens, it's like it was put together for you, or like it was meant to happen. It's kind of hard to explain in words, but it's like this phenomenon that you'll start experiencing, um, where things just, you'll pray about it, and then it'll happen.
Right.
You'll pray about it, and then you'll get, like, you'll pray for wisdom, and then you'll get it. And that's, like, what really, like, shocked me to the point where I started believing in it. And around that time, that boyfriend broke up with me. And it was, like, terrible. It was a terrible breakup. Like, I have no ill will towards him. Like, it was very heartbreaking for me at the time, but like I feel like we could still be friends now. He was a really good leader in like my journey. But he left, and I chalk it up to now like a test of my faith. Like once I started actually going to church by myself, he left me. And I think that was kind of like to test if I would stick with it or if I was just
Right.
doing it for someone else. Um, and I kind of stuck by myself for a bit, and I had started talking to Freeman again because now we had a common interest, and we would do Bible studies, and Freeman and I got together, and I've been to his church now. The people there are amazing. I love his church family. I still even talk to like one of the girls from his church. Um, and yeah, my journey through Christianity has been a long one. It's been kind of rough. Growing up, my mom took us to a Methodist church, which even now, she, like, if you don't know anything about Methodism, um, they're kind of the liberals of the denomination. Like, a lot of the stuff they believe in is, like, pro-LGBTQ. The church we were going to, like, started to be more, like, pro-LGBT, pro-abortion, stuff like that, and she couldn't support that, so we kind of left that church. Now I identify more with, like, Baptist kind of beliefs, Southern Baptist. That's what Freeman does. If you pardon me, pardon my rudeness for 1 minute. My mom texted me, and she's wanting me to help out with an event that they're running.
Right.
I'm asking her, like, what time she would need me to do so, because I did kind of say I would help out with it. Waste a blood rose. I love that you have that. Just waste one. So yeah, I'll ask her what time that's gonna be, if I have time for it.
Waste of blood rose. Yeah, I turned off. So my while she's doing that, I'll talk some stuff. I turned off all my redeems because it blocks the screen. There's a bunch of voice clips, and there's a stuff like that of me dancing. I turned them
Okay.
off, but we
Yeah.
had to. No, you can redeem. We had to have something there to keep the
Sir!
thing going.
Sir, do not redeem.
Yeah.
Sir, you don't have to do that.
And to make another thing, I am friends with everybody. I try to be. I try to be nice to everyone, and I even posted on Twitter. I really don't hate anyone for any beliefs. I genuinely don't think. And I said that
can agree
when
with that.
when I wrote to Nara, I actually did apologize in my DM for a tweet that I made because it was actually pretty chill. Pretty chill.
So I have about like a half-hour maximum. I still have to get like ready to go. I gotta put on my MAGA shirt and stuff like that. So
Yep.
yeah, I have a pink MAGA hat. Yeah.
focus
if
on
we
the big
could
question. Yeah,
get to like big important kind of like a couple of the questions kind of go into each
right.
other.
Sure. Let's see. How do you see the role of VTubers and Vtard shaping public perception on things like transgenderism?
I feel like we actually have seen quite a shift. When I had started VTubing, politics was kind of unspoken about, like last year. During the election. Yeah, during the election, we kind of saw this shift where VTubers were more comfortable talking about politics, whether they were like for Donald Trump or like against him. It was like not as taboo anymore. And I had started talking about politics more as well. I had actually gotten in trouble, like Zany Studios. I've already said that they dropped me, but they had actually warned me at the time because one of the fellow members was posting like anti-Trump stuff. So I had started posting pro-Trump stuff. And of course, like, well, I never brought it to the attention of the studio that they were posting like anti-Trump political stuff. Of course, my political affiliations were brought to the attention of the studio. And thankfully they weren't like, they didn't kick me out for that, but they did demote me. So yeah, we have seen a shift. And people have been more like at each other's throats for politics since the election. I think that's what really turned it over.
I mean,
The group has gotten more people to be more confident in speaking up by being right-wing. And I feel like it's kind of causing a little bit of panic within the left-wing VTubing community. They're seeing more and more that a lot of people are right-wing, they aren't as vocal about it as left-wingers are.
we're actually already on most of the more important questions, so this is good.
Okay.
Shortly before this interview, Miku shut down his social medias. What are your thoughts?
Shortly before this interview or shortly... Wait.
It was today.
Said shortly before this interview?
Yeah,
it was today.
Yeah.
I feel like it makes sense for him to stop using the persona now that people know who he actually is. If I were him, or if I was his PR, I would start streaming, like, from my actual, like, accounts. If he wants to, like, keep up this whole, like... If he wants to keep up with all the traction that he's getting from this event, because there's been a lot of traction for him. People like to say, like, oh, 150 viewers, like, what's he gonna do with that? But that's impressive. For VTubers, especially, like, that's really good. 150 viewers. Like, as non-biased as I can speak about this, this has been, like, amazing for him. Like, he's gotten so much traction and donations and stuff like that from this, that if he starts streaming with his, like, face and, like, milks this as long as possible, he could probably be kind of successful from it. Especially with the whole January 6th thing, like,
Right.
people are gonna cling to that. So, like, if I was his PR, that's what I would do.
The Vtards have disbanded.
I do think it's good.
Do
that,
you
yeah.
believe this was the best course of action? Additionally, what is your opinion on Saturn and Akemi starting a new group? Soon-ish, maybe? Saturn posted on Twitter that they had something in the works.
Honestly, I saw that, like, earlier today, like, a few hours ago, and I don't think it's a good idea. I do think that both of them should just remain indie, but it's not, like, my place to say so. Ultimately, it's up to them. If they have a good friendship, you know, good for them. And if they want to make a group, I would probably, like, if I was in this situation, I would wait to make a group, especially with this one being, like, so overblown. People are going to be afraid to join up in a group with you, because if they do, they might get doxxed. So I would kind of wait and let it simmer out, so that people aren't scared to join a group with you. If you do make a new one, I suggest that you don't make it as political. More so focus on, like, actual, like, streaming and gaming together instead of politics. But that's just, like, my 2 cents. Obviously, you probably won't listen to me. You don't have to. But that's my opinion on them forming a new group. I don't think that it's a good idea, but if they do, please be careful about it.
We're moving a little bit faster here. Some say the
Yeah.
Vtards, including your early involvement, were just Clayson Clout. What's your response to that?
Like, my early involvement was
They're
clout
saying
chasing?
no. All of the Vtards was just the accusation.
All
was,
of the...
It was just for clout. It wasn't for any reason other than that.
I feel like there was a part of it, especially because, like, I took the group as a joke originally. I didn't think that it was going to be, like, such a huge thing. I thought that it was just going to be, like, a 15 minutes of fame kind of thing. Because when I posted about that, when I posted, like, call it Vtard, and we actually, like, got the group together, I thought that it would, like, upset the liberals and, like, become maybe a talking point of a few videos and, like, we would get attention from it. Like, yeah, that's something that they can't deny. Like, that's what all VTubers want. All VTubers want attention. One form or another. So, like, especially, like, people like Kemi who are doing VTubing as their job, like, she has to look into things, as to how they're going to affect her, like, as if it were a job. So you cannot convince me that clout chasing was not a part of the group's forming. Like, you can't tell me that it wasn't to upset people. Like, I will never be convinced of that.
How do you feel about Nines leaving the group before it was disbanded?
I feel like that was a really good choice. And of course I wanted her to leave when I left, but I don't know what was happening behind the scenes. I don't know the conversations that they had. I don't know how Nines felt. That was a very good decision, though. Especially after, like, Nachisu was outed as being a man and lying to us the entire time. I think that was good. And I think that ultimately, like, her leaving the group probably led up to the disintegration of the other ones. Yeah, Nines was mostly silent during me leaving. The only thing that she had said, which kind of, like, threw me off and kind of confused me, she had reposted, like, a tweet that Akemi had made about me, like, allegedly copying her model, which is a whole, like, entirely, like, another situation. Akemi had posted, like, the cheap copy will never be better than the original, and Nines reposted that, so that kind of threw me off.
I think
because I thought that Nines was, like, more on my side than that, but, like, other than that, Nines was pretty,
I don't know,
like,
about
non-biased.
That. Like, that seems like just something
I don't know.
people do. You know, I wouldn't worry about that one.
Yeah.
So we're going to skip the next two questions here.
Okay.
Future plans and reflections. What are your goals as a VTuber moving forward?
Future goals. Well, I'm looking forward to my Irium debut. And I am getting some new panels in the works. I am working on new merchandise as well. I currently am working on a plushie and a dakimakura. I am working on a body pillow. So yeah, just working on merch, working on projects. I do have another big project in the works that I am not going to announce, but something pretty big is coming. So just kind of stay tuned for that. I'm gonna keep up my normal streams. I usually am streaming on my days off of work. Okay, time to refresh chats. Yeah, I say a lot. I'm sorry.
Other streamers that I asked for the VTubers, and I'm going to ask you the same one. Other VTubers in particular ask, are you going to make a 3D model in the future, or will you stick with your current one?
Am I? So, I am actually considering making a 3D model. I found an artist that would do it for like $650, which is like really good. That's like pretty cheap for a VTuber 3D model. So yeah, I really want to do that, but I think I would have it as like a dono goal, maybe, or like put it up on my throne for like people to crowdfund, and then once it reaches a certain point, probably like throw my own money into it. Because again, like I do this as a hobby. I don't like primarily do it for money. So like investing $650 into it when I'm already working on like merchandise that I'm gonna have to drop into. Um, it's just something that I still have to think about for a bit. But if it's something that people are actually interested in, I might do that. I feel like it opens an opportunity for more memes and more content, VR content, which could be pretty funny. I do watch a decent amount of those like VR trolling videos, and I feel like that would be some funny content, especially because it's not a woman dominated field. It's a male dominated field, and maybe that's something I could get into. Um,
Uh,
so yeah, that's 3D content. Maybe we'll see.
in a just name the person. You don't have to go into this. Who is your biggest
Okay.
inspiration in VTubing / the streaming world?
Um, if I can group them together, I want to say Revan's job.
Great.
I really like their dynamic, especially with my boyfriend and I.
How much free time
Yeah.
do you have in a typical day to balance your personal life and VTubing?
Oh gosh. I've already kind of explained my schedule. When like when I have my days off, I have most of the day usually. Like today I'm gonna have to help out with the booth. So I won't be here for most of the rest of the day. Um, but when I'm working, it's an all day thing because I wake up like an hour before my shift and then I have to get ready and then I go to work and I can't be on my phone at work because I am a very disciplined worker. I don't use my phone at all, only for music sometimes, and even then, like, that's kind of rare. Um, so yeah. Don, move closer to the microphone.
Oh, frick. um. Okay.
You're being yelled at.
We're gonna. We're almost done. We're on the last page now. We're almost done.
Okay.
What tips would you give to other VTubers?
Tips that I would give to other VTubers, especially if you're first starting, please actually think about stuff before you do it. If you take anything from seeing my situation, whether you agree with me or not, one thing that you can take from that is damage control and being your own PR. Because if you're starting out and you have like 100, 400 followers, you've got a little bit of an audience, people actually care about what you're doing, um, it's always going to come back to haunt you. I will always be known for being in this group. That's never going to go away. My docs is out there. It's gonna continue to be archived, and people are gonna know who I am. And
Yeah.
it's all because of this group. And you have to think about how things that you're doing are going to affect you in the future. You may not think about it too much. You may like write up that tweet that's like, oh, this new drama just came out and I think this about it. You don't have to make that tweet. You don't have to give in to talking about drama. If you just want to play Stardew Valley on your streams, like, don't let people drag you into talking about that kind of stuff. You don't have to do that. Like, you see people like Chibidoki. She's huge. She doesn't talk about drama. Shylily doesn't really talk about drama. Like, you don't have to do that. If you want to become a drama tuber, do it. But if you're not a drama tuber, don't bring up drama.
I mean, yeah, or me trying to weasel my way into drama to talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chubby Archside
You're going to get backlash.
just focus on making good content. Don't focus on anything else. Yeah. I mean, that's why my dogs, I didn't care either, because, like, there was people that literally have done worse, and I didn't even care about the things that were worse. You know, for me, it's like, this is what I do. You know, I'm sick. It's hard for me. I gotta take caffeine and take like special shots to even do these interviews and stuff like that to go stream. I have too much like more important things than worry about something like that.
That's something that people often forget. Like VTubers, we're real people. Like, you've seen my face now. I am a real person, and a lot of people forget that. Like, that's one of the criticisms that I received was using Akemi's real name when I was talking to her in DMs.
Oof.
And I brought that up because I wanted to remind her that as much as she is a person behind the screen, so am I. And I feel like a lot of people forget that. The VTuber that you're watching that has like 10,000 followers, you could have passed her by on the street and not known. So I think that people need to remember
the VTuber
that we're all human.
The VTuber Pally Callie wanted me to ask all VTubers that I interviewed what their favorite song was. He's such a sweetheart. He is such. Pally is such a nice guy. So, song.
Wait, sorry?
What?
Did you ask me a question or no?
Yeah, I did. I asked you the question. I said.
Wait.
I said, Pally Callie, the VTuber, asked me to ask all VTubers that I interview what their favorite song is.
What my favorite song is?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I frequently find a new song and obsess over it and play it multiple times in a row. And lately, that song has been Bird Brain by Jamie Page.
All right. 2 topics left. We're going to skip the first one under uncomfortable because we talked about that. You had issues with Miku's design in a private chat. Did this escalate any further?
That I have talked about. It didn't really escalate into much. It was more so like, no, I'm not going to change, and that was like when I was like, oh, okay, he's not going to change, so like I don't see a point in staying.
Okay.
If I can't help. Yeah.
Talking with Starcat, she alleged that the Vtard's community harassed her and Snowy Saber, who now uses a wheelchair, who has been using a wheelchair. She wasn't now. Do you know any of the ill will toward them, and how do you view their treatment?
Do I know any of the ill will towards them?
Yeah.
I know that Akemi really doesn't like Snowy, at least. I don't know how she feels about Starcat, but I think they've argued previously. I would consider Starcat a friend. I don't think we agree on everything, but she does still check up on me, and, we've talked a bit. I do pray for her and Snowy, and just, I know with having a lot of medical issues, it can be really difficult, and I don't want to pretend like I understand it because, I haven't been there. My mom did have like a stage 4 colon cancer, so I understand from a family member perspective, but I don't, I haven't been there. So I try to be as good of a listener as I can. I can't really say I don't know if Akemi knew that both of them have those chronic issues. I am a little morbidly curious on, now that she knows, is she going to, change her opinion of them? Is she going to be kinder towards them, or, yeah. There's an extent to where, you should still treat people who are, disabled, chronically ill, like they're every other person. But I understand having a little bit of, a softer tone and being more understanding. I feel like I'm kind of tangenting.
Has the Vtards Yeah, that's why I was trying to go to the next question. I noticed that.
Yep.
Has
Sorry.
the Vtards / VTubing shaped your personal growth or your perspective on online interactions?
Yes. I think it's been known for quite a bit. I've always been saying that I live my life on the internet as if anything that I say can and will be used against me. Because unfortunately, that's how it is.
Yeah.
And I feel like that has just furthered my opinion in that. I don't trust anyone now. Anyone who, like, tries to be my friend, I question their motives. Are they just spying on me? Are they trying to get close to me so they can, like, run back with information to people? Or are they being genuine? I've had to, like, go through my Discord server. Like, not because there's anything in there. I mean, there's an archive of it out there now, so, like, they don't even need to be in it, but, and I only have people in there that I know because I just hate the idea of people just being there to, like, gather anything they can. So yeah, my trust issues have definitely gotten worse. I question everyone's intentions, and, like, yeah, I think that's the worst thing that's come out of it. I don't really trust my friends anymore.
Rip Twitch ad. Oh, I know. It's a pain. It's
Yeah.
really a pain. Let's see. What unexpected... we'll skip this one. We have a little bit of time. If you could change one thing about the public perceives your time with the Vtards and yourself now, what would it be?
If I could change anything about the public perception
Of you, yes.
of me. I think that, and a conversation that I had last night on Twitter kind of, like, furthered this for me. There's this perception out there that I'm, like, some evil, manipulative mastermind, and I've, like, planned everything out, and, like, that kind of stuff, and I think that's really silly. Like, there was a guy last night who was, like, grilling me on Twitter, and I had, like, responded to him, because he was talking to one of my friends, and I was in a voice chat with this friend, and we're like, he's just acting as if I'm, like, planning all this stuff out, and he said I was, like, playing games, and, like, they just make me sound so silly. Yeah, my mom is here and is kind of rushing me.
Okay. She's here? You said 30 minutes? We got like 12
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah,
Oh.
she's not good at timing. If you do have questions specifically for me, because
Okay.
people are asking me if they're allowed to, you can always reach out to me.
We were at the end anyway.
There was,
it's okay.
yeah, someone has said, like, you know, Shiro's DMs are paywalled, but my Discord is the same as my Twitter. Just, like, send me a message request. I don't care.
That's what I did.
If you, like, actually want to talk to me. Like, Dawn was able to get a hold of me, so yeah. Feel free. I'm not, like, gonna hide anything. I don't care.
Well, that is it for the interview. I want to thank Shiro for coming on to the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And for those in my stream normally, this is the end of the stream for today. We're going to Let's Play Mafia: The Old Country tomorrow, and then we're going to do more interviews with other VTubers coming up, actually. And as far as I know, in a private message, Nines was one of the people that I do plan to interview, and a few other VTubers that I have that I've been friends with that I've actually accepted now. So keep in mind for that. And I want to just appreciate Shiro's honesty that she's had.
Thank you. Oh, hi, Niku.
Oh, and the stream died. Anyway, doesn't matter.
It died?
The stream died right at the end. Oh well, I'm gonna say stop streaming.
Yeah.
It's in the recording. It's in the recording.
Yeah.
It literally died right then.
I'm gonna close my VTube studio and stuff. But yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, that
This was
was
fun.
very
Do you have
nice.
to kind of rush